Ruth Bader Ginsburg is known for her work on the bench, but it turns out she stole the spotlight at the Washington Opera. Tonight we hear from her friend about sharing the stage with the justice. Plus, the Big Ten is back, and now we have a schedule for UMD football. We break down the biggest matchups. Plus, unseasonably cool temperatures. How long before we see the coolest air of the season?
Now, ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
Happening now, tributes pouring in tonight outside the Supreme Court as mourners honor the life and legacy of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You're taking a live look right now, and people have been passing through all night, paying their respects with flowers, signs, and even chalk messages on the sidewalk. And just a short while ago, a vigil wrapped up on the steps of the Supreme Court, a somber crowd remembering a woman who meant so much to so many. The groups hosting this vigil are pushing to delay the vote to who will fill Ginsburg's seat until after the November election. Now, that issue is now front and center as a fierce battle shapes up on Capitol Hill. President Trump saying tonight he will choose a candidate to fill the seat next week, and it will be a woman. At a rally tonight in North Carolina, the president said it's his constitutional right to do so.
No, it says the president is supposed to fill the seat, right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fill the seat.
So it takes 51 votes to confirm a Supreme Court nominee. So if all Democrats and independents vote no, only 3 Republicans can vote no. Tonight, Senator Susan Collins, a Republican from Maine, says that she will be a no, saying she believes that the vote should happen after the election. And we want to know what you think. When should the Senate vote on a potential nominee to fill Justice Ginsburg's seat? You can weigh in. Just go to WJLA.com/vote now or on the ABC 7 News app. We'll check back in on these live results in just a moment. But first, ABC 7 bringing you team coverage tonight on the passing of Justice Ginsburg. We begin with ABC 7's Ashley Rodriguez live outside the Supreme Court, where thousands have paid tribute tonight.
Yes, and the vigil lasting hours. It began at 8. It just wrapped up moments ago. And this tribute turning into a call to action, this vigil turning into a political rally. RBG had said she didn't want her successor named until after the election. And hundreds of people tonight who gathered, mostly women, vowed to protect the court from a Trump appointee. Take a look behind me. This is what's left. And you can see this vigil has grown and grown. It has wrapped itself around the Supreme Court. Earlier, we saw hundreds of people gather. This vigil organized by organizations that included the Women's March. They helped pass out candles and signs. Tonight is also Rosh Hashanah, and Justice Ginsburg was the first Jewish woman on the court, making tonight even more significant for the Jewish community that also came out. The vigil kicked off with singer-led songs, and the crowd bundled up with sweaters and masks, heard from a number of speakers.
We're devastated. Justice Ginsburg leaves behind an incredible legacy that not many people leave behind. She's really improved the lives of every single woman in this country and every single family in this country.
I mean, we're all here, we're grieving, obviously. We're afraid, we're mourning, but we also, I think all of us are so moved by the spirit of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, how long she lasted in the court and the ways that she paved the way for women's rights, reproductive rights, LGBT rights, and so much more. So we're here to honor her and just to deal with our grief, I guess.
Women's right, a right to choose, basically abortion, Roe v. Wade, big time is on the table, immigration, a lot of things that are coming through on the table right now. So it's important that the next person replacing her follow her legacy. And it's about human dignity.
So at this point, the emotion is still very raw. The loss is still very fresh. But the tone of the vigil and the rally that we saw form, and even the tone tonight, is one of uncertainty and maybe even worry. Lots of people out here very concerned about the future direction of the court and this country. We'll go ahead and send it back to you in the studio.
People out there still at this hour. Thank you very much, Ashley. Justice Ginsburg is being remembered around the country as a historic Supreme Court justice, but tonight some are also mourning the loss of a friend. ABC 7's Tobias Rodriguez is live right now on U Street near a mural depicting the late justice with how she invested in the arts in D.C.
Carl, this mural is a symbol of the love and respect that the people here in the district have for Justice Ginsburg. Right now, there isn't a crowd here, but we've been here for most of the night, and people have been coming here very emotional. You can see the beautiful mural, and then right under it, these are thank you notes that people have been coming and writing. Then right under that, there are candles that people have come and lit throughout the night. I was able to speak with a man that says that his love of opera and Justice Ginsburg's love of the opera sparked a friendship.
So help me God.
America knows Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg as the second woman to sit on the Supreme Court, but some know her as a friend.
We've shared many moments performing backstage and at, cocktail parties. She was at the opera so often. Seriously, I probably have seen her at 10 different things.
Lawrence Brownlee has traveled the world performing on the grandest of stages. But he says there was nothing like sharing the Kennedy Center stage with Ginsburg.
I remember her being giddy about the fact that she was having something to say on stage, that she was actually taking an active role in an opera.
And continuing to work is like throwing away your umbrella in a rainstorm because you are not getting wet.
She was the big star that night, and the rest of us were her co-stars.
They performed in The Daughters of the Regiment, a moment Brownlee will never forget, much like the last time he saw Ginsburg in 2019.
She reached out her arms like she always did to give me a hug, and so I gave her a hug around her fragile body, and I said, how are you doing? And she said to me, it's very difficult to keep coming back from cancer.
At the time, he didn't know his parting words would be the last thing he would say to his friend.
You are so courageous in your fight, but I admire you so much.
Ginsburg died on the eve of the Jewish New Year. She was surrounded by her family at her home here in Washington. And if you do come out here to U Street to pay your respects, you can come over here. You can see that they actually have the sticky notes and the markers and the candles that you can write something and you can light a candle and you can put it right here at the mural. Reporting live in the district, Tobato Rodriguez, ABC 7 News.
She made an impact in so many different ways, Tobias. Thank you very much. And back now to Capitol Hill and the already heated debate about what the loss of Ginsburg means for the future of the court. As Sinclair National correspondent Christine Frizzell reports, Democrats are using Republicans' own words against them.
The American people should have a say in the court's direction.
We're setting a precedent here today, Republicans are, that in the last year, at least of a lame duck 8-year term, I would say it's going to be a 4-year term, that you're not going to fill a vacancy of the Supreme Court.
Senators Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham today saying the opposite, that they'll support whomever Donald Trump nominates. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell already making it clear he plans to hold a vote on that nominee, a process that could only be challenged if at least 4 Republican senators opposed it, a prospect that for now seems unlikely.
This is law, this is justice. The idea of pegging it so crudely to politics, that doesn't feel right.
Law professor Josh Geltzer, though, acknowledging the future of reproductive rights in this country is now uncertain. If one of the most liberal justices is replaced by a conservative one who could potentially vote against the tenets of Roe v. Wade, the 1973 case that made abortion in this country legal.
The law is settled at the Supreme Court until there are enough votes to unsettle it, in a sense.
Justice Ginsburg reportedly told her granddaughter her dying wish was to not be replaced until a new president was installed. She is expected to lie in repose at the Supreme Court for 2 days next week, followed by her burial at Arlington National Cemetery. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
7 on your side did some research. We wanted to know, with 44 days until the November election, how long does it take to get a nominee confirmed? For Brett Kavanaugh, it took 89 days. Neil Gorsuch, it took 66 days. The quickest modern era confirmation was Ruth Bader Ginsburg at 50 days, and the longest was Clarence Thomas, taking 106 days to confirm. For the record, we are 122 days from January 20th, which would be the inauguration day if needed. Now let's check in on our live ABC 7 poll, and a vast majority of people who voted say the Senate should vote after the election. About a third of voters said it should happen before. Now, we will continue to monitor the tributes around the DMV and the nation, as well as the political battle brewing right now to fill the Supreme Court seat. You can always stay up to date on our website, WJLA.com, or the free ABC 7 News app.
And outside across the area tonight, a nip in the air for sure. In fact, since we last spoke, we do have a frost advisory now expanded through portions of our western counties, including Morgan, Berkeley, Jefferson through West Virginia, and more northern portions of the Shenandoah Valley, Frederick, Clark, Warren, as well as portions of the valley. Let's talk about what's happening out there temperature-wise outside right now with clear skies and light winds. Temperatures already slipping through the 40s from Chantilly to Manassas. Right now, still 56 downtown. When you wake up tomorrow morning, we could see upper 40s in the city, 30s in the burbs, but tomorrow afternoon with good sunshine, we will see a nice afternoon, but you definitely may need an extra layer or two. More on the next 7 days and the latest on Tropical Storm Beta coming up in just a bit, Carl.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Well, new tonight, we are learning more about how the return of football will look for the University of Maryland. The Big Ten releasing its schedule today. ABC 7 Sports' Olivia Garvey joining us right now in the studio with the biggest games of the season. Olivia.
Yeah, Carl, Big Ten football is officially making a return. The presidents and chancellors reversing August 11th's vote. That means we're getting some Maryland football in 2020. Now, the season is set to begin on October 24th with an 8-game conference-only season. Now, earlier this morning, the Big Ten released the 2020 schedule with the Terps matching up against Northwestern at Northwestern in Week 8, which is where the season will begin this year. Now, the home opener will be against Minnesota on Halloween, and the Ohio State comes to College Park November 14th. And for the complete Maryland schedule, you can go to our website, WJLA.com/sports. It'll be my first time covering this team. It will be nice to see some college football in College Park. And of course, coming up in sports, another local Maryland team making some history today. Carl.
All right, it's go time, Olivia. Thank you very much. Well, just days into the fall semester, the University of Maryland is dealing with its first on-campus coronavirus outbreak. At least 23 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in Denton Hall. Those students and 9 close contacts are now in quarantine, and students in the dorm are being told to limit activities and to increase social distancing. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 11, a terrifying escape in the wrath of Hurricane Sally. What one woman saw in the water right next to her as she swam for her life. And an update on the progress at Amazon's new headquarters in Northern Virginia. The big step forward happening this weekend. Plus, TikTok's deadline delay. New details about the fate of the popular app and what it means if you already have it on your phone right now. And don't forget, ABC 7 is your home for the 72nd Primetime Emmy Awards. You can watch it all right here live on ABC 7 starting tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Stay with us. Right now, a massive wildfire in California is growing and threatening several homes just north of Los Angeles. The Bobcat fire has already destroyed multiple homes and structures. So far, it has burned more than 112 square miles, doubling in size over the last week. Evacuation orders are in place tonight. Our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, is teaming up with the Salvation Army to help support fire victims. To donate, you can visit WJLA.com/cares. Now in Florida, cleanup continues after Hurricane Sally tore through earlier this week. Many there say they didn't know how they're going to make it through the aftermath. Our Sinclair sister station in Pensacola spoke with one woman who stood on top of a table as the floodwaters took over her home. Her only way out was to swim with her 1-year-old grandson on her neck.
We ended up jumping out my back window and swimming to a higher ground behind us, and water moccasins was right beside me swimming.
Terrifying. The recovery process is far from over. This area hasn't been able to receive an emergency declaration from FEMA. That would free up much needed money to help that community rebuild. And now to an update on the ongoing construction to build Amazon's second headquarters in Pentagon City. In an email update to neighbors, the contractor says crews began assembling the first of 5 tower cranes for the project this morning. The entire operation is expected to take about 2 days. There are road closures on East Street, so be aware if you are in that area. All new tonight, TikTok has been saved, at least for now. President Trump said he approved a deal temporarily averting a ban on TikTok in U.S. app stores. The app's Chinese-based company will continue to be a majority owner of the TikTok app under the agreement, but American companies Oracle and Walmart will also get shares. Now, without a deal, you would not be able to download TikTok in the App Store starting tomorrow. Tonight's announcement delays that for 1 week while negotiations and approvals continue. All right, so we're going to the weather right now, and you can really feel that nip out there, Brian. I see you broke your sweater out. It is really that time of the year. Got to dig deep. All kinds of sweaters and blankets in the Willis household right now.
Carl, you can see my breath a little bit out here. I'm not quite ready for it.
I know.
My colleague Alex Liggett was looking back. We haven't had a day this cold in September, the chill this much early in September since almost 10 years ago. So it's a little early, a little early. And it's going to be for the next couple of days. Take a look outside. I want to show you some of the numbers outside right now. We already have dipped down into the upper 40s for our friends down in Spotsylvania County, down in central Virginia. Meanwhile, 56 in the district at this hour, 51 off to the north and west in Hagerstown. But I think we're going to see widespread 40s across the area tonight, with even some 30s trickling in some of those western suburbs. But you can see a clear night outside with lots of stars in the sky and just a very calm wind. Temperatures will drop from the 50s downtown into those 40s with some 30s in the burbs. In fact, kind of on average tomorrow, I think we'll wake up to a lot of low to mid 40s. A cool start to the morning. Extra layer, cinch up that robe as you head out to get the paper from the stop out in front of the house in the box. Make sure you get an extra cup of coffee, too, tomorrow to help warm you up from the inside. Look at that, 39 potentially tomorrow morning in Frederick, 37 Winchester, 41 Culpeper, 37 out in Petersburg, West Virginia. Milder by the Bay, 53 in Annapolis, Leonardtown at 50. Right around 48 in the district, and we did get to 49 this morning. Now, our trend over the next couple of days is such that we're going to stay pretty cool. Crisp at night and cooler than average afternoon highs. Sunday and Monday, both days, mid to upper 60s, when we should be in the upper 70s. But by Tuesday, which is the start of fall, officially kicks off Tuesday morning, temperatures will gradually start to warm back up again. And by Wednesday and Thursday, that's when our temperatures will get back into the 80s. Got to talk tropics because Tropical Storm Beta, some concern for folks in Texas for sure, and portions of western Louisiana, which are still reeling from Laura several weeks back. This storm is moving to the west right now at about 2 miles per hour. It's moving to the north-northeast, but then it's going to shift to the west as we go through tomorrow. Right now, latest guidance keeps it as a tropical storm, but landfall for the coastal areas of Texas, which impacts from Corpus Christi to Houston and potentially near Lake Charles by next middle of the week. Now let's look at the big picture here. We have Wilfred in the ocean, which is losing steam. Teddy, a Category 3 storm, which will stay off of Bermuda just to the east, but it will impact portions of Canada, but it will turn up the surf out along the beaches all up and down the east coast, and another wave that could get our next name potentially in the northern Atlantic. Here's your 7-day forecast then. Waking up to chilly mornings but beautiful afternoon sunshine. That hazy smoke from the wildfires has shifted out of our area for now, so plenty of sunshine and brilliant blue skies. Monday looking good. First day of fall, a tad warmer. Some low 80s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All the way through the next 7 days, I don't have one raindrop at all in that extended forecast. Let's look at your weather now for a look at sports. Let's check in with Olivia.
All right, Brian, thank you. Navy coming off a rough 55-3 loss to BYU. Now, could they bounce back against Tulane today? Plus, Washington football has touched down in Arizona. Will they have that Week 1 success against the Cards? More on that matchup next. Stay with us.
And now, the Toyota Sports Desk, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
All right, NFL Sunday is back tomorrow. Well, in about 9 minutes, it's week 2. The Washington football team in Arizona looking for their second straight win of the season. Now, the burgundy and gold showed in week 1. The defense, well, it's a weapon, and Dwayne Haskins can be a true leader. But this week, they go up against a young Cardinals team, and Ron Rivera knows this matchup won't come easy, especially going up against that young quarterback, Kyler Murray.
He was a dynamic player, very athletic. You know that he moves very well in the pocket. He's a guy that you've got to be able to account for once he gets outside the pocket, because if you don't bring rushers at him, he'll tuck it and run. And the thing about him too is when he's scrambling, he's not looking to run. He's looking to make plays downfield. He's looking to extend the plays.
It's going to be a great matchup in Arizona tomorrow. All right, Navy trying to rebound after an embarrassing loss to BYU. Didn't start good for the Middies. Quickly down 24 points as Cameron Carroll scores, and Tulane is up big. Now, Navy's new starting quarterback, Dalen Morris, throws the post pass to Michael Cooper. 32 yards for the score. Game is now tied. Navy gets the ball back and drives down the field. Less than 10 seconds left. B. John Nicholas from 33 yards out. It's good. Navy scores 27 unanswered points. They're happy there to win their first game of the season, 27-24. I was jumping up and down like that too. All right, 1931. It'll go down in national history as the turning point of their championship season. It's also where the Nationals find themselves today in 2020. The pitching this year for the Nats just not good. Patrick Corbin gets rocked here by Garrett Cooper into the right center seats, a 2-run shot. Marlins lead at 3-1 and Nats fall 7-3. And in a game you saw on WJLA 24/7 News, DC United looking to hand Toronto FC their 5th loss of the season. 88th minute, now United down 2-1, and Joseph Moore with the shot on goal, but it's pinched away. But there's the youngster Griffin Yao, blasts it in, his first career MLS goal. That ties it up. The match ends in a 2-2 draw. And lastly, can't forget about our neighbors down the road. The Baltimore Ravens looking to stay undefeated, matching up against the Houston Texans tomorrow with a 4:25 kickoff. We'll be right back.
D.C. Councilmember Mary Che had the honor of being sworn in by Justice Ginsburg back in 2007. Che told me today that she was surprised when Ginsburg not only said yes to her request, but also asked to make some comments about Che during that ceremony.
I said, you could say whatever you want. Thank you very much. You know, it wasn't done. Nobody has ever done it. But that's what she wanted to do. So again, the very idea that she would have any awareness of my writings, that she would be willing to do this sort of thing for me, I'm just like, I was amazed.
Now, Che says that was one of her life's greatest honors. Now, today, ABC 7 also spoke to D.C. Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton, who introduced RBG during her confirmation hearing in 1993.
She argued a half dozen women's rights cases before this court, won 5 of them. They are landmark cases. Perhaps the most important, established what everybody takes for granted today. They're the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause.
Now, we'll continue to gather reaction from local leaders about the passing of Justice Ginsburg. A final check of the weather is coming up next. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy this crisp, cool weather and have a good night.